want to share a particular story about participation that speaks to Beth Am's roots and our future. In the Utah Place lobby, there is a small brass plaque. It's just 10 inches wide. Like me, you've walked past this plaque for as many years as you have attended high holiday services at Beth Am. The plaque reads, "The acquisition of this building was made possible by contributions from members of Beth Am In-Town Synagogue and a major gift from Mr. I.C. Rosenthal." Discovering this plaque made me curious because until recently, I believed that Beth Am purchased our historic building from Hizkiah congregation for $1. That turns out to be the urban legend version of our history. Here is what really happened. In late 1994, our founding Rebbe, Louis Kaplan, gathered a group of 25 pioneers, many young families, to form a new independent congregation here after Hizkiah migrated to the suburbs. A capital campaign was launched in January 1975 to raise the $65,000 price Hizkiah asked for the building. Dr. Kaplan set a ceiling for contributions at $1,000 per family. The equivalent today would be $4,600. When nearly half the goal, $30,000, had been raised through the modest gifts of members, I.C. Rosenthal, an 88-year-old real estate developer and longtime Hizkiah member who continued to daven on Utah Place, came to Lou Kaplan and said, "I will give you all the remaining money you need if you allow me to negotiate with Hizkiah." Dr. Kaplan, who was of course wise in many ways, saw that this was the moment to break his $1,000 contribution rule. I.C. Rosenthal negotiated with Hizkiah's board to reduce the price to $55,000 and include 3 Sifrei Torah and all the Shabbat and holiday prayer books the young congregation would need. On Erev Rosh Hashanah that year, Beth Am's first president, Ephraim Potts, stood in this spot and announced that Beth Am owned its building free and clear. I.C. Rosenthal typically had an aliyah on the second day of Rosh Hashanah, but in recognition of his support for Beth Am, he came to this bima for an honor on the first day of Rosh Hashanah. Ephraim drove him home after services. I.C. Rosenthal died that night after suffering a heart attack. That is the true story of how Beth Am acquired this sacred space. And you only need to look around this sanctuary and into your heart to know all the ways I.C. Rosenthal lives on. Now, 42 years later, we are at a critical point in another campaign to secure Beth Am's future. With a goal of $12 million, yes, times have changed. Tradition and transformation, the campaign for Beth Am seeks to renovate our historic building, build a much-needed addition, and establish a $3 million endowment that is essential, absolutely essential, to continue to support the leadership of our clergy and staff, the inspiring Jewish experiences they create with us, and to secure our financial future. Thanks to campaign leaders Lainey Lebo-Sachs, Cy Smith, Saul Snyder, George and Betsy Hess, and Jim Jacobs, we have made terrific progress in involving large numbers of congregants in the campaign. Our Tradition and Transformation campaign is broad-based. Like the $1,000 gifts from dozens of founding members in 1975, I am thrilled to announce today that 52% of our congregants have now made a pledge to the Capital Campaign. These gifts come from our newest members and our founding members, from young families and from seniors, from those of modest means and those well known for their generous philanthropy. Equally impressive, the majority of congregants here today have made a campaign commitment in addition to their regular annual fund support. On behalf of the board, I want to thank all of our current campaign donors for your participation and belief in Beth Am. Your participation is powerful. As of today, we have raised $9.4 million towards our $12 million goal, including a $125,000 match from a generous anonymous donor tied to our achieving 50% participation. The magnificent sacred space that we are in today comes to us through the generosity of others. From the Hizuk Amuna congregants who financed, planned, and built it in the early 20th century, to the Beth Am founders who gave the best gifts they could as young families in 1975, to I.C. Rosenthal, who at 88 left a legacy that brings meaning to our lives each time we step into this sanctuary. Many fundraising campaigns claim to be the campaign of a generation, with its three goals of building endowment, renovating our sanctuary, and adding facilities to support contemporary needs. Tradition and transformation, the campaign for Beth Am is truly the first comprehensive campaign our shul has supported in 4 generations. This is our time. The goal is ambitious. Your participation is essential. It will be our legacy. Thank you, and Shana Tova.